Hi everyone! In today's video, we are going to explain about deadlock in operating system. Deadlock has various meanings.
A deadlock is a situation where a set of processes are blocked, where each of the computer process waits for a resource which is being used by another process. In other words, each process needs some resources to complete its execution. Resources in operating system are memory, links, or devices. When deadlock occurs, no process gets executed since the resources it needs is used by another process. For example, there are three processes P1, P2, P3, and there are three resources R1, R2, R3. P1 is assigned to R1, P2 is assigned to R2, and P3 is assigned to R3. After some time, P1 demands for R2, which is being used by P2. So P1 stops its execution since it needs R2. P2 also stops its execution because it needs R3 that is being used by P3. P3 stops execution as it needs R1 that is used by P1. In the end, none of the processes are progressing and the computer becomes unresponsive since all the processes get blocked.
I will describe 4 necessary conditions for deadlock to occur. Mutual exclusion. It means at least one process must be held in a non-shareable mode. For example, the printer cannot be together shared by several processes. Hold and wait. It means a process holding at least one resource and waiting for another resource. For example, process 1 is holding resource 1 and waiting for resource 2 done before start the resource 1. Circular wait. It means each process is waiting to obtain a resource which is held by another process. For example, P1 waiting for P2, P2 waiting for P3, P3 waiting for P4, and P4 waiting for P1. No preemption. It means resource cannot be preempted. For example, it will process the first job that comes until done before start to do a new job.
There are three methods to handling deadlock. Firstly, prevention and avoidance of deadlock.
Firstly, prevention. Deadlock prevention is the mechanism to ensure that at least one of the necessary conditions for deadlock can never occur. Usually, it is impossible to implement deadlock prevention. To prevent a deadlock situation, it is not necessary to know the number of all existing resources, availability, and requests. Non-blocking, synchronization algorithm, and serializing tokens are some deadlock prevention algorithms. Furthermore, the resource allocation for deadlock prevention is conservative. Next, avoidance. A system is safe when it is possible to allocate resources to all processes in some order without causing a deadlock. Deadlock is the mechanism to ensure that the system does not enter an unsafe state. In other words, it ensures that the system does not have a deadlock. To avoid a system from reaching an unsafe state, the system should know about the number of existing resource, availability, and requests. The most common technique to avoid deadlock is the banker algorithm. It helps to find a safe path to execute all the processes. Also, this algorithm considers the total resource and current requested resources.
Second method to handle this deadlock is allow deadlock, detect deadlock, and recover deadlock.
For a low deadlock, we must require both detect and recovery. deadlock detection. Deadlock detection is the process of actually determining that a deadlock exists and identifying the process and resource involved in the deadlock. For detect deadlock, we have two methods. First is process termination, abort all the process in deadlock state. Second, abort one process at a time until the deadlock cycle eliminated. Second is resource preemption. Resource allocated to various processes may be success preempted and allocated to other processes until the deadlock is broken. Deadlock recovery. Once a deadlock is detected, there are two choices: abort all deadlock processes. Second, abort process at a time until cycle is eliminated, which require rerunning the detection algorithm after such abort.
Last method to handle deadlock is ignore deadlock.
Ignoring deadlock. Perhaps not as silly as it sounds. Your resource prioritization for heavily used resource, otherwise don't worry about it.
The mechanism outlined previously for handling deadlock may be very expensive if the alternative is to have a forced reboot once a year that